Garry Chalk's here for Mad Max Radio, Live 365, iHeartRadio. One of the best voiceover actors to really do it in this industry. Optimus Primal, you may know him from Beast Wars. He's done a lot. Scary Godmother, we'll get into that. He's been in he's been in a lot of work here. Freddy vs. Jason, The Fly 2, Eureka, Stargate SG-1, Cold Squad. His body of work is really incredible when you look at it. But welcome to the show, Gary. How's everything going?
Well, so far so good. I'm hanging in. As you know, I've just recovered from cancer, and I've pretty well on my way to full recovery. It takes a long time, apparently, but I'm happy and healthy and back at work. So things are good. So
Congrats.
that's all that matters.
That's that's big. Congratulations. I'm happy to hear that. I did read about that. I'm happy that you have recovered and that you get to really start focusing on your work again. So is there anything before we really get into your career, is there something that you're already working on that you could speak about that you're looking forward to getting back to?
Well, right now I'm working on a show called Monster Loving Maniacs, which is an animated series out of Europe, out of Denmark. And so far, we did 52 episodes last year, year before last, and that was amazing. It got translated into 21 languages, and it's very popular because it's something that the kids can watch with their parents, and their parents can enjoy it as much. So we got picked up for another bunch this year, and I go back to recording as soon as my co-star gets off her maternity leave, which will be
Okay.
on the 3rd of November. So I'm going back to do a lot more episodes. So very happy with that. Film work, I'm not ready for film work right at the moment because, well, to tell you the truth, I just don't have the stamina
Mm.
for that. But it will come back. I'm still getting into it a little bit, and it seems like it's working out okay. So that's all that matters, you know. And other than that, I'm just sort of concentrating on getting my health back and playing with my grandkids and hanging out.
That's the way to do it. And I'm sure you'll be looking forward to getting back into the film space. I'm glad that you're getting back into the voiceover world. Well, we could start really from the beginning because you're originally from Southampton. You make your
Yeah.
way over to Vancouver at the age of 5. So what was the reason that your family decided to relocate to Vancouver?
Well, at the time, this was in 1957. Guess how old I am? No, 1957. My dad got basically there was a big recruitment drive to get people who were skilled tradesmen, and he was a rigger pipe fitter. And so he came over to work on the rigs and in the mine. Well, not so much the mines, more of the lumber companies. Working in the lumber mills, and he did that quite a bit. And then he worked in the mines for a bit, and well, there was a big push to bring families over from Europe into Canada, and that's how we came. And I'm glad we did. Actually,
It
I
worked
love it.
out.
I love it here in Canada. It's in particular British Columbia. It's a beautiful place to live, and I've lived here ever since. Had a
Mhm.
few brief stints here and there, but most of the time, I just love hanging out here because, oh, what can I say? It's a beautiful place to live.
I agree. I haven't been there because I'm in New York, but I do have a love for all of Canada. I do say it's beautiful.
Well, I got to tell you, I love New York. I am. I mean, I know that's a cliche, but as soon as I remember I flew there, I was doing a promotion for the video game, the Transformers video game with Wired Magazine, and I flew to New York. I got off the plane, and that was great. Then I got on the train, and I arrived down in Manhattan. And as soon as I got off the plane, I went, "I'm home. This is I love this place." And that's what happened. I just fell in love with it, and I hope to go back there again. I've been back a few times, and every time I go, I explore something new. There's just something about it that's really vital. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Absolutely.
So great city. Glad you live in it.
Yeah. You also had some time out there in Hollywood. Did you, I heard there were things that you liked about it and some things that you didn't like about living in Hollywood.
Well, I didn't exactly live there. I stayed there for a while when I was, promoting myself in the American film industry.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was there for a little while. I was just trying to, make my bones in Hollywood, and kind of went there on a pretty good start. I was there. I did a miniseries with Farrah Fawcett called was called what the hell? Small Sacrifices,
Hmm.
and it was huge, huge, like 41 share. It was just a huge thing, and ABC were all over it, and Suzanne DePass over at Motown. I remember going to a party at Writers and Artists. It was their launch party for Writers and Artists, and I people never pay attention. They'd be looking at me, they'd be going like this and looking around, seeing who's who. Weren't really interested in your conversation. And then I heard the vice president of ABC yell across the yard. It was a garden party. Gary, Gordy, get over here. We got a 41 share. We got some great plans for you two. And that was Gordy Clapp, who was the other guy who was there, who was in NYPD Blue.
Okay.
Anyway, so we went over there, had a couple of drinks, and just had a blast of a time. Everything was very well done. I finished that meeting with them. I was only with them for about 20, 30 minutes. And then I went back to the party. And then all of a sudden, everybody's on your face. They're just in you. Oh, what are you doing? What's up? What's going on? Yeah, blah, blah, blah. And I said, oh, come on, man. You had no time for me 5 minutes ago. What happened? And I just felt it was just a bit of a hustle. And the irony I found there are thousands of people there, but it can be the loneliest place on the planet
Hmm.
is Los Angeles. And I quite liked being there. I liked the people that I hung out with and that, but I'm really glad I didn't make a base down there because I'm sure I would be. Uh, I'm sure that I would have been successful, but I don't think I would have been as happy as I am at home.
Hmm. No, I get it.
And yeah,
Hmm.
so it was fun. It was a great experience. I had some real fun there in Studio City. I was doing a couple of monster shows like what was it? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
Okay.
and The Fly Two, and I had to do these prosthetic makeup, and so we did it down in L.A. and that was a blast.
Hmm.
We had a great time. I met some great people. But that's it. That was my Hollywood. Most of my work and everything is done right here in Vancouver, and I just absolutely adore it here. So
Hmm. Yeah.
that's what I've
That's
been
your
doing.
home. That's your
Yeah,
home. The Fly 2 was a well received role with the critics too, and this was really a big breakthrough for you. When did the American studios here out in LA and just in the US really start wanting to work to get you work here because they had to go through the whole process of getting. That's why you couldn't get work. I was learning about you because they didn't want
yeah.
to have to go through the
The
union out there to
process,
get you.
and the paperwork, and all the well,
Yeah.
it was mostly immigration, and SAG,
Hmm.
and because after I finished The Fly 2, I was getting calls from everybody. They wanted me to be the wife of Jane Seymour in the Medicine Woman show. They were getting calls from Universal and Warner Brothers and all that. And my agent at the time was going, "Wow, this is cool. This is cool. You do know he's a Canadian, right?" Bam! It shut down. Everything shut down. They didn't want to take the time or the effort to work with me, to go through that process because it takes a long time,
Hmm.
and now it's even worse. But
Oh.
I think from what I went through here, I became so busy in the film industry and in the animation industry that I had no time for anything else. I mean, I would literally if I'm not mistaken, I would average like 150 days a year of work, and that's like ridiculous,
Hmm.
you know,
7 days
or
a
100.
week.
So there I had 4 months of 7 days a week,
Wow.
literally 7 days a week. Cartoons every single day, films. There was one time I was doing a film called, what was it called? Oh, it was Unforgettable
Okay.
with Ray Liotta.
Hmm.
And I was also doing cartoons every day. And my cartoon call was 8 o'clock in the morning, and I would work till 3 in the afternoon. And my film call was 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and we'd wrap at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I would finish my cartoons, race downtown to the location, shoot all night, and then race home, grab 2 hours of sleep. And I did that for like, I don't know, maybe a week or two. I made a lot of money, but I was starting to see little rabbits come out of the corners of my eyes. I was just absolutely drop dead exhausted. I'm so glad it was in my late 30s then, because now I would just collapse and die.
Oh,
But I didn't, and that happened a lot. I would be just working all the time. And when I finally slowed down a little bit, and I think that was when 9/11 happened, things got slow, and I didn't know what to do with myself.
hmm,
I lost my mind because every day was work,
hmm,
and I didn't have any work.
yeah.
So, oh, what do I do with myself now? So I started, and I picked up my music stuff and started playing music again.
Hmm.
And I guess it was about 2015 that I got sucked into not recording, but to playing music. My friend Noah, he says, "Hey, come on, I heard you play. You should come down and play at this open mic." And I'm going, I don't know. I haven't played in 25 years in front of people. And he goes, "Come on, it'll be great." So I said, "I'll tell you what, I'll come down and listen." So I went down to this little bar and I was watching, and then he gets up on the stage and goes, "Hey, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, Garry Chalk is on the stage and he's going to play a few tunes for us." And I went, no, no, I don't have a guitar. And he goes, "Here you go." And he handed me a guitar. And I knew like two or three songs that I could actually play confidently because I'd forgotten all the rest. And so I got up on stage and my heart was beating too fast. I was breathing. Couldn't catch my breath. My stomach was rolling, and I'm going, "I'm going to die up here." But I did it. I went through the songs, and it was okay. And I went back about I swore I would never go back, but I went back about 3 months later, and in that time, I learned about 20 or 30 songs that I used to play, and it got to be great. And it got quite a following, and so people really liked it. So that sort of helped me through that. Through those lean periods, when things weren't going as great as they should.
Hmm.
But I mean, they were still going, but it wasn't as crazy as it was in the '80s and '90s. It was
No.
absolutely insane in the '90s. And there I am. And so I ended up, I don't know how many projects I've done. I probably, well, at least 400 or 500. It's got
Oh,
to be at least,
lots.
it's got to be that many. And lots of cartoons. And so I'm very content the way things are right now, and I'm just sort of, just enjoying life. And as I said, spending time with the grandkids and hanging out, spending time with my wife. And that's who was on the other line. Where are you?
Oh, okay.
so, so
Uh,
anyway, so that's what I've been doing. Do you have any like questions about shows or projects?
absolutely.
Yeah,
Scary Godmother, because this is one of my personal favorites from when I was a kid. I didn't realize when doing my research that because I knew Bugaboo you played, I didn't realize
yep.
you did Harry the Werewolf too.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
Scary Godmother used to love me. Used to always find him great things to eat. I was having a very difficult time at that time, and I always looked to Scary Godmother for advice. I remember that character, so I love that character.
What was the reason that they didn't do a part three? Because I know you did the first two movies, because I felt as
Yeah,
though they should have did more of those.
I don't know why they didn't do it. I think because Tabitha and I had a blast working that
Hmm.
show. Tabitha played Scary Godmother,
Yeah.
and we had a real fun time. But I guess, well, maybe they didn't know where to go with it. I don't know, but I know that the shows that we did were just a blast. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I wonder too, because they never, it's so rare to see it on Cartoon Network anymore. Because I'll do it like
Yeah,
Anna Lee. It's good to see a throwback from when you were younger, and it's
yeah,
never on anymore, which is crazy.
I know. Well, you know, there was one that's so cool. Is one called uh, Happy's Christmas Special.
Mm.
And it was a Popeye cartoon I did with Billy West. Remember Billy West?
Yeah, I've heard of them. Hmm.
He does not Clive, what's his name? On Futurama.
Okay.
That guy, the lead
Hmm.
guy in Futurama. And he played Popeye and I played Bluto. And so I was like, "Oh, going to make a monkey out of me, Popeye." And it was a lot of fun. And Tabitha was Olive Oil, so it was a good fun time that we had. But very rarely see it. I know I have a copy of it somewhere,
Hmm.
but yeah, I just there's one thing I love is basically I love the people that I work with. They're just so much fun to work with,
Hmm.
and I love the shows. I love the content, and one of my one of my favorite shows is the one I'm doing now called Monster Loving Maniac. And if you want
Hmm.
to watch episodes, there's a ton of episodes on on YouTube,
Okay.
and they're quite funny. You'll
Hmm.
get a kick out of them. But they play everywhere except the U.S. and Canada. Something about edgy. I don't know.
So, what's your process as far as because especially when you were working those 7 days a week, and then even there's even cartoons like what I just mentioned with Scary Godmother, where we're playing two or more characters. So, what's your process in getting all the voices and remembering each one for each character when you got so much going on?
Well, that is such a great question. And the way it works is, well, first off, I would look at a character, a pictorial drawing of the character, and then I would look at the biography of that character, what they are, and the physicality of them, and I would basically base a voice on on their physicality because you have some are thin and reedy and some are big and fat and bulky and some are quite precious like like Harry was quite precious and I looked at because I looked at his costume what he was wearing and he was always so like that so I I thought that's I'm going to use this voice and how I got the reference for that voice you're going to laugh.
Oh, the stalker.
Oh, you know about the stalker.
I've heard, yeah.
Oh, the stalker who'd say, "Hello, Mr. Chalk." I said, "Yes." Can I ask you a question? Of course. And he ran into me on the street, and I said, and he asked me this question. So in episode 3 of, and I said, "Okay, yes, I get that." And so anyway, I've got to go now. So I'll see you later. And he goes, "Oh, can I just ask you one more question?" And I went, that's the character, and I was thinking back to that guy, and that's the voice I used for Harry. And I remember the when I was doing the voice for Primal,
Hmm.
they they didn't want the truck; they wanted Monkey, and I read for Primal, and I also read for Megatron.
Hmm.
And there was a toss up because they said, you're going to be Megatron, and David. Sorry, I got hiccups. David K is going to be Optimus Primal, and I said okay. And they were tossing it up and tossing it up. And then the director asked me, and I said, okay, can you make him a little warmer? Can you make him tougher? Can you make him more dad? Can you do this? And I did that. And then they went, okay, you're Optimus Primal and David is Megatron. Because I could have done Megatron easily. Yes. Could have, I would love to have done Megatron because the evil guys get the best lines,
It's
you
true.
know. Optimus Primal was great, but he was always like, the dad, the killjoy, but he was always a great leader, and I just loved that character. And that was my process with him was the same thing. What would I, as a human being, embody those character traits like good guy, bad guy. He's a leader. He has solutions to problems. He faces them all with determination and fearlessness. And I said, okay, I can do that. That's me. Now I have to live up to it. So every time I go to conventions and stuff like that, for all intents and purposes, Optimus Primal is me. And I know that some people they're pleasantly surprised when I show up. I know that there was a big uh, convention in Chicago
Hmm.
this weekend, and all these people are asking, "Well, why isn't he here? Why isn't he here?" And I said, "Well, he can't really travel just yet, so
Hmm.
I'm waiting till I'm feeling 100% before I travel again." And so it's great. I just love to meet my fans and see how they're doing and get some really, really nice letters and things that I don't know. It's a great deal of responsibility, when people they look up to your character,
Hmm.
where they say never meet your heroes, and so you try and be that person to those people, and it sure helps, because that's a lot of people's childhood. A
Hmm.
lot of people that in this day and age, you have so many. I don't know. You have so many disappointments
I agree. Hmm.
as far as your hero goes, and I want to be that guy. I
Hmm.
want to be the hero. You know, not like for egotistical means. I just want to be a good person and a better person, and that's basically what I aspire to. And even my bad guy characters.
You definitely are, and you've even come across some heroes in the industry. Keanu Reeves, I've heard about this story where you saw him in a movie theater and he was a nice
Yeah,
guy.
I'm
What
sitting
film
with.
was this for?
I think it was for, if I'm not mistaken, it was. What the hell was it? It was a sci-fi film. I
Hmm.
just can't remember what it was. Oh, it was. I think it was the Fifth Element. I think it was
Okay.
that. Can't remember. But I'm sitting there enjoying this movie, and then I look beside me. There's Keanu Reeves. He's sitting right beside me. I had no idea. And I said, "Hey, Keanu, how are you, man? Nice to see you." He was such a sweetheart. He was filming a movie called "The Day the Earth Stood Still,"
Hmm.
and he was staying at the hotel where the hotel where I used to go and have a drink every once in a while, and so it was quite. It was a bit surreal, but it was great to meet him because he's such a nice guy. He's from Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
just all around. And from what I've heard from everybody that I've ever worked with them or met him, they always say the same thing. He was a wonderful guy.
Hmm. No, it's so important, and I love how that's the way you are with your fans. 'Cause I think it means a lot when you want to come off as the person that people are find so much comfort in watching on screen with your characters. There's a lot of times where people have negative reactions with their
Yeah,
idols, and it ruins it. And it never makes sense to me because your fans make your world go round.
and that's what I've always said, and I've
Hmm.
and I've said it so many times. I said, without you, there's no me.
Hmm.
And so I'm a big fan of fans.
Hmm.
just like fans are big fans of me. But you know what? They, if it weren't for them, I mean, what would we have? You know,
It's
what would we
true.
have? And so I treat my fans, all of them, and I don't see them as fans. I see them as pals, and I
Wow.
treat them as such. You know,
Hmm.
and I've always done that. And it's evident that, as I say, anybody can walk up to me and you know, here I am.
Hmm.
What you see is what you get.
It's, I love that. It's authentic and it's true to who you are as a person. Another favorite project of mine that you did, Freddy versus Jason, Sheriff Williams. I think that was I love that character. Just all your lines in it, how you deliver, locking, I'm gonna lock you up.
Lock you up. Got to keep this thing contained. Got to keep it contained once and for all. And I had a joke with that. I went to the director, whose name is Ronny Yu,
Hmm.
who I'd worked with before on another with a sci-fi called the Five Heroes of something. It was about animals who were superheroes, and it
Hmm.
was like a Chinese film or based on a Chinese film. Anyway, Ronnie Yu was hilarious, and he goes, "So you come down the stairs and you'll go around the corner and you are scared, but you're not scared. You're more concerned, and you go around the corner. So I want to see that." And I just killed myself laughing, and I says, "Ronnie, I say you got to keep this thing contained in every scene. It sounds sort of crazy." He said, no, it's a hit. When you say it's a contained, it's a great joke because everybody will look at it and they'll say, oh, got to keep this thing contained once and for all. You know, lock you up. It's even in a video. Boom, 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 boom. I'm gonna funk you up. That video. I'm gonna funk
Uptown
you up.
Funk.
Uptown Funk. Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm in it for like 1 second or like 1 second and a half. Going, I'm gonna lock you up. Yeah. But everybody on that show was so much fun, and Freddie and Jason. And I had a great story because um, the gal from Destiny's Child is
Oh, Kelly Rowland.
Kelly Rowland.
Hmm.
Okay, well, an old girlfriend of mine, her daughter, who was about 13 at the time, it was her birthday, and I had told her mom that was working with Kelly Rowland,
Hmm.
and she goes, "Oh, he's a huge fan. Did you work it out so you could take her to set and show her everything?" And I said, "I'll see what I can do." So I go to the show. I go to the set, and they say, "All right, you can." You go to the WorkSafe, and WorkSafe said it's fine, it's okay, and the production people said it's fine. So I said, "Okay, I can take it." So I put her in the car, and I said, "I just wanted it's your birthday today, so I thought I'd take you to my film set where I work so you can see what's going on." And she goes, "Well, that sounds like fun." Meanwhile, her mother stashed all her Kelly Rowland, Destiny's Child gack in a bag behind me. She has no idea where we're going. And we go onto the studio, and it's that scene where Kelly comes out of the flaming cabin and she's all covered in blood
At the end. Hmm.
at the end. So that's the scene they were shooting that day. And so I said, "Well, let's go and see what's going on." And this is my friend Ken. He plays Freddy, or he plays Jason. And he goes, "Oh, hello, how are you?" And she goes, "I'm fine." "Wow, that's a scary outfit." And he goes, "Yep, well, it's a scary movie, but watch out." And then they showed her some fake glass, breakaway glass,
Hmm.
the candy glass. And so she hit me over the head with it and she thought that was pretty hilarious. And then we're sitting there, and all of a sudden, Kelly comes out of she's finished her scene in the cabin, and she comes over and I say, "Hey, Kelly, this is my this is my friend. She's 13, and she would love to meet you because it's her birthday." And Kelly looks at her and goes, "Well, hi, honey, how you doing?" Like that. Meanwhile, the little girl, paralyzed with fear, and she goes, "Well, You just want to come inside? Well, come on, let's come over to the trailer while I clean up. We can chat. So she's still like, huh, 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 and then Kelly signed all her gag, and they sat in the makeup trailer for an hour, just talking and about music and what 13-year-olds talk to about their favorite stars while they cleaned her up. And then I said, "Well, it's time to go home now." So thanks, Kelly. She goes, "No problem. Happy birthday, little one." We get in the car and she's stunned. She's just stunned. She goes, "Oh my God, that was so cool." And she gets home. She talked about that day for about a year. She was absolutely gobsmacked. But it's things like that that just make some of the stuff just absolutely worth it. It's just so fun,
It
and
is.
she had a blast.
It's a legendary set.
Yeah, and it was so much fun on that movie. Like to be, I was the one who killed Freddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, the whole cast were great, and I'm just so lucky. It's just like when I went and worked on the Predator movie,
I was gonna
and
bring
that
that up.
yeah, that was a lot of fun with Shane Black was directing,
Hmm.
and it was the first day, first scene, and I'm playing the mailman, and he comes up to me, and he goes, "Okay, I want you to go over to the radio and say your signature Transformer line." So I thought, no. All right, crew, transform and roll out, which got the whole place going. It was quite funny. That, and that's how we started the day. That was a
Wow.
lot of fun. And then I went and worked on the Dr. Robotnik and or on Sonic the Hedgehog.
Another one.
Yep, and the director was quite tickled that I played Dr. Robotnik a couple of times in the cartoon, but here I am playing a general in the live action, so I got a little cameo in the movie, which was quite fun. That's the great thing is you get these adventures and you don't know what's going to happen with it.
Hmm.
You never know what's going to end up.
No, I think it's hilarious because I just thought about it with your sheriff role in Freddy vs. Jason, that how much contain is said, and especially with Ronny Yu wanting to bring it out. Because now you only not only say it then because when you're talking to the officer, you better make damn sure that no one knows because you'll send them up to Winston Hills with
Yeah,
them.
yeah, oh yeah. That was Lachlan Monroe,
Yeah, yeah,
and I've worked with Lachlan. I've played his dad a lot of times back in
yeah.
the day, because we did a lot of what we call Green Epstein movies in Hallmark. And I just did a movie with him a few years ago called what? Oh, it was a horror movie. It was about this guy trapped in a hospital with demons and stuff.
Mm.
And it was the Irish actor. Oh God. I tell you, I swear I suffer from sometimers. I cannot remember the name of the movie.
Mm.
But it all took place inside a hospital, a haunted hospital. That was just a few years ago. I
Mm.
really enjoyed it. And I enjoyed the actor. The actor was great, and Lachlan. Well, I've always had a lot of fun with Lachlan. He's just the coolest guy.
Yeah, I've heard great things about him, and yet you two had a perfect chemistry in your scenes together, and
Yeah,
even just to close out the Freddy vs. Jason and getting into some other work is when you're coming down the stairs in the investigation, you turn around, don't even say that son of a bitch's name out loud.
yeah,
You-
yeah. So
uh,
much fun.
your delivery in that movie was just top notch. It really was.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I
Of
try
course.
my best. I try and give the best performance that I can.
You do, yeah. I just with all your work, including those roles, and just even getting into even The Fly too, with that, especially with AI and everything. Is there concerns there for you with AI? Because I feel as though that the industry flirts with it, and then there was the actor strike. What are your thoughts on AI as a voiceover artist?
As a voiceover artist, AI is killer. It's still in its infancy. The one thing that got me about AI is I don't know if you ever watch all these sort of not instructional videos, but these sort of I don't know what kind of things you would call them. So if you go into this place, this is what's going to happen, and or advertising for a new product on
Mhm.
YouTube. You know, I can spot an AI voice in a second,
Wow.
especially with the ones that like liberal news, or what's another one? Uh, there's a whole bunch of them that sort of give this rolling voice track after a political thing on YouTube. And I'm going, you guys, if you're going to use AI, at least get the words right. It's not Deck 25, it's December 25th. It's things like that. And we have a street at home here called Burrard.
Hmm.
It's called Burrard, but the AI pronounces it Burrard because it
Mm.
looks like Burrard, but it's not. It's Burrard. And so I get really pissed at that because I used to do a lot of these industrial films,
Hmm.
industrial videos, and like I used to do this one, used to do all these real estate ones where I go, as you walk down the main hall, turn to your left into a full size kitchen, and you know, describing this house for sale, right? Now that's all done by AI. So I don't do
Unbelievable.
those anymore. I don't do a lot of industrial things anymore because they're all done by AI, which is frustrating as hell. But what do you do, you know?
Hmm.
And so my only saving grace is I have enough saved up and stuff like that that I can live quite comfortably. And animation, they don't quite have it perfect yet. They do
Hmm.
in some of the audio dubs, the foreign language dub. But for cartoons, there's just something organic about cartoons that you can't fake it with AI voice because the voices are different, and they change, and that's the name of that tune. That's all I can think of.
Hmm.
But in film, I don't think that AI looks great as a gimmick. I've seen some AI films and stuff, and it's sort of gimmicky, but you can tell right off the hop that it's AI.
Hmm.
And I like the organic process of people working together because film and television, just like on the stage, it's one of those places where you find happy mistakes or brilliant imperfection. That's the word I like to think,
Hmm.
and that's so I think that AI may work for some people. It works for background performers for sure
Hmm.
because they can because they don't say anything or do anything, so they can just sort of block them out on the screen. And we've had issues with that with our what they call mocap or screen capture with our union.
Hmm.
Who gets the royalties for that? You know.
Yeah, no, that's another concern. And throughout your career, what is the one character that you've played that relates most to you as a person? Who did you relate to most?
That would be Inspector Polachuk on Cold
Mm.
Squad. He was me through and through. I mean, I was no nonsense by the book guy, but he also had a soft spot,
Mm.
and he also had compassion and sensitivity to other people, which is it's hard to find the right combination of being a being a hard ass and also being a nice guy. You know,
Hmm.
I remember working. I did this movie or a series called The Killing. I don't know if you remember that,
Hmm.
but the uh, the director of that movie, the Oscar-winning director, Betty, and I went in and read for this character, and they went. She goes, "Yeah, that's great. You're the guy." I walk away. I find out the next day that I'm the number one choice. And then 2 days later, I get a call. They want to see other people. I said, "What do you mean?" Well, they want to see someone a lot nicer. I went, what? That's an
Mm.
acting. Send me back. So my agent, bless him, he coached the casting director to have me go in again.
Hmm.
So I went in and I had a nice balance of nice and bad guy, but I made him a little nicer. And that was on Friday. On Friday afternoon, I got cast, and Monday I started working. And then the director goes, when I walk on the set, he goes, whatever they said, do it my way. And I went, huh? Don't listen to them, do it my way. And so they've got people from Denmark. They got all these other, producers and that for the first day, right? I'm
Hmm.
shaking in my boots. I turn around, I look at them, and they go, and I go, and so I thought, how the hell am I going to do this? So I made him stern, but I made him a little nicer, and but only in certain parts when it was necessary. I was more relenting than giving up, you know,
Hmm.
and the director was happy, and they were very happy, and the rest is, as they say, is history. So I ended
Hmm.
up doing the series, and it was a wonderful character. I really liked him. I liked working with. I liked working with Mireille Enos, who was the lead, and what's his face, the sweetest actor. Uh, he was amazing as well,
Hmm.
and I just thought that sometimes you just gotta, what do they say? Desperation makes concentrates the mind. When you know you're going to get killed, you get concentrated. I, I was with my friend Phil. We were doing Sonic the Hedgehog, and
Hmm.
I was playing Grounder, and he was playing Scratch. Well, originally I was playing Scratch, and he was playing Grounder, and we were doing an Abbott Costello kind of thing, and we'd done recorded about 6 episodes, and the producer shows up and she goes, "They don't like the voices." What do you mean they don't like the voices? They don't like the voices. Come up with something brilliant or you're fired. And I said, when? Now. Oh, what? No? I said, yes, now. So we tried Mutt and Jeff, we tried Abbott Costello, Rough and Ready. We tried all these different characters, Laurel and Hardy.
Oh.
And they go, nope, nope, nope. And I said, hey, I got an idea. I'll play Grounder and you play Scratch. And he goes, oh, okay. And he goes, aha, what do you want us to do? That was him. And I went, I'm not stupid. I just lost my head for a moment. And we presented that to them. They went back and they go, they love it. Okay, you're not fired. And he ended up becoming very popular characters as the henchman of Dr. Robotnik. And then I eventually played Dr. Robotnik as well. So
That's right.
that's it's when you're pressured, you do brilliant things.
Hmm. Did it take you back to the days of Ottawa Citizen?
The Ottawa Citizen. Oh,
Hmm.
God, where did you find that? Oh, the Ottawa Citizen. Yes, for the best in news, sports, and entertainment. Well, that's the only job I ever got fired from. And I went in. I was still really young in my voice career. I was like 1982 or somewhere around there. And I went in and I read for this, and they said, "Yeah, that's great. We want you to do this commercial." Well, I did it like this: the Ottawa Citizen for news, entertainment, and they said, "No, that's not how our guy does it. Sorry, we'll get somebody else." And I went, "Well, I didn't know what I did wrong." So I went to the director of Sound Ventures, and I said, "So I tell you what, you tell me how to do these different reads. I'll do your next commercial for free." And he says, sure. Okay. So we did retail reads, corporate reads, man in the street, all the breathy reads, stentorian reads, comical reads, and retail. Remember last year when you said it wouldn't happen again, running around at the last minute, you know, those things. And so he showed me all these things, and I made a tape, and it was very well. Well, that tape, that stupid tape that cost me one commercial spot, launched my career, and I started
Insane.
working like a demon all the time. I started doing my first animation was there in Ottawa, which was Hiawatha, which is on YouTube. There's I did Alien Starlost, which is
Hmm.
a sci-fi show where I dubbed in alien voices and all kinds of things. Then I came to Vancouver, and it just went one show, one show, one show, one show after the next. It was very, it was, uh, it was quite amazing, and I'm so glad that Chuck took the time to show me that stuff. You know,
It paid
but
off. And even another one I just remember that you did the Giant and Dragon Tales.
oh, Mungus.
Yeah.
Mungus was wonderful. He loved making dingleberry pie. Is it dingleberry pies or something like that? I remember he was a lovable dragon or a lovable giant, and I remember that. I remember people with their kids coming up and saying, "You know, my kids love that giant. You're they love Mungus," and I'm going, "Well, that's great." And it's like I don't know. You as I said before, you come up with a physical aspect of a character. And the one great thing is one thing I learned from Sue Blue. You find out where how a character laughs, and you're going to get the character. And so you're going, oh, you find that you'll find the character, and a lot of times that absolutely locks me in.
Mhm.
Gestures always lock me in too, like the hero, you know,
Mhm.
the bad guy, those kind of things. They lock you in, and that's how you do it. The biggest advice I ever gave to anybody in voice is A, learn how to read, get it off the page and understand exactly what you're reading, and learn how to sing.
Mm.
And if you can, because what singing does is it improves your range up and down, and makes you feel great. The other one is it allows you to train your voice and use it so you don't burn it out, which
Hmm.
happens to a lot of people. They lose their voices
Yeah.
altogether, and that's not a good thing. So you've got to you've got to actually find you've got to find the voices that are within your range that won't kill you.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
that's what it's all about, and it's actually quite good. I think it's quite a good thing
Hmm.
to have. Anyway, so there you go. That's
Yeah.
me.
And you could definitely sing from your days in the choir
Oh
early
yeah.
on. Yeah, so you had the choir experience, mimicking early on, mimicking the principal at your school. So, because you got into the stock market, so what made you go back to school to be an English teacher? Because you had all these aspects of becoming what you are, and why do you think it was such a delay with you
Well,
actually getting into this field?
what happened, if you really want to know,
Hmm.
I tried a lot of different jobs,
Hmm.
but I got into the stock market in 1970, 71, somewhere around there. And I really liked the excitement of the stock market. I worked on the board as a board marker. That's when we used to write down all the quotes on this giant board and running back and forth with yellow hands. And it was really a learning experience. I got to learn how the stock market worked. And then I got pulled off the board to be a phone boy. And I was a phone boy for a while, then a junior trader. Then they pulled me off the floor to be a desk trader,
Mm.
and that's what I did. I trade on the desk, and what that's where I learned how to control my voice. I used to have this senior broker who was my guide on set, Mr. Donaldson, who used to go, you know something, Gary, if you don't speak from the tummy, you're going to lose your voice. You have to speak from and he had that on the bit of batter, and you could hear him right across the room. There's like 164 different brokers, and they're all yelling. And if you yell and you don't use your voice properly, you lose your voice, and then you're
Hmm.
no good as a trader. So I got to exercise my voice and use it. And people could hear my quotes right across the room, which was great. People think now I'm a bit too loud, but I'm not loud. I just have vocal pressure. so, so, and every one of those guys had their own distinct voice. And when I was working on the board, it got to the point where I didn't have to look. I just hear the voice. I knew who it was and who the brokerage firm was. So it was, you know, because that's what the joy of having that distinct voice came from.
Hmm.
And so that was why I got into the stock market. When I went to oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting lost. I'm losing track. Anyway, so what happened after the stock market? It crashed. It
Hmm.
crashed big time, and the market slowed down, and they started laying off everybody.
Mm.
And so, as I was the junior trader, I was laid off. So I didn't know what else to do. So I was had some money saved up. I went over to Europe for a little bit and toured around Europe for a while, and I came back and I thought, you know, if I'm going to be anything, I don't want to be a dishwasher. I don't want to be a waiter. I want to do something. So I'll be an English teacher. So I went back to college. I went to college and I took up English, anthropology, and other subjects. Anthropology, I found I loved, and English, I absolutely love. And so that was what I was going to do. And then one of my term projects was to go down and see a play at the theater department at the school.
Mice and Men.
Mice and Men. I watched that show and I was completely gobsmacked. I thought the acting was fabulous, the production values were great, the set, it was all good. I just, that's what I want to do. And so I went and auditioned for the school, and it came up in, I think it came up in November, somewhere around there, because the term starts in January. So I went into this audition. There's this old geezer sitting there reading a newspaper at the Cambrian Hall. So I sang my song and played my scenes and did my bit. And he looks up from the newspaper and he goes, "Oh, you got some talent, not much, but some. All right, off you go." I thought I blew it. I blew it. But I didn't. And then I got accepted. And then I learned that they only accept like 15 people from across, you know, everywhere.
That's wild.
Now it's around the world. But it was only 15 people. So I thought, oh, Christ, now I'm in. Now what? So I worked a night job to
Mhm.
pay for the school, and I worked a day job. So my first term, I had enough money to get through the term. So I did that. But at the end of the term, I had to go work to get term on, term off. And on that term off, I would work in the daytime to pay for my living expenses, and I work at a night job to pay for my school
Mhm.
when I couldn't work. So I did that. It killed me 16 hours a day every day, but I managed and I got through the school. There was 15 of us, and when I graduated, there was like three of us, no, four of us.
Mhm.
And I remember one time I was going to get thrown out of the school, and the, Mr. Holland, who was my head teacher, he brings me into his office and he goes, "They want me to throw you out, but I'm not going to do it. But don't do it again." And I said, "I won't," because I swore at a teacher, a
Oh.
French teacher, and I just wanted to smack somebody so hard. I got a perfect mark on my oral presentation, but zero on the written. And I said, "I'm not stupid. It was a long monologue. I made a few shitty little mistakes, but it gave me a C. If I get a C, I don't go forward." So I thought, well, that's not going to happen. And Anthony, he kept me in because I did really well. I can't, what can I say? I was a good actor.
Mhm.
And then we did Jacques Brel is living well and living in Paris and sold out every single show. and we prolonged the show after I graduated. So they had to pay us. So my first paying gig was a school show, and it was Jacques Brel's Alive and Well, Living in Paris, and
Mhm.
that was the show that launched my theater career because it was amazing,
Mhm.
and um, and that's what made me go there, was the desire to just be. I just wanted to perform. I was born to perform, and
You proved
I've
it.
been, I've been doing it ever since 1978. I think I graduated 78.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've been doing it ever since. Never stopped. And I always look at it as, you know, small steps. They always work.
Mhm.
Small steps. Because if I had have said, like back in 1978, if I said I'd be sitting here talking to you about my career, I'd laugh in your face. I mean, it just, not going to happen. But it did, and I'm very happy that it did happen. So
I
there
am
you go.
too. Lots of roles here that you've
Yeah.
been able to bless us with for years.
Oh, dude, we could talk all night,
Yeah.
but my wife is bugging me now.
Okay, Gary, thank you for coming on the show. I had a great time. Before you leave, there's actually one question I want to clarify in line. Is it true you played the coach in Stephen King's It, the miniseries?
Yes, I did.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I played Get Up Here, You Band. No, that was another movie. But yeah, that director who directed it, I actually did a couple of movies with them,
Hmm.
and the other one was called The Spree, I think,
Hmm.
and I think we did one called it was a baseball movie about Russians and Americans. I can't remember. It was a long time ago, but yeah, it was. Yeah, I show up in the oddest places.
Hmm.
But I actually did a little bit in a documentary about it, the
Wow.
original it. Yeah, because I got sought out by this group who were doing a documentary. And said, can you come and do an interview with us? And I said, oh, sure, why not? And so it was just, it's just odd the things that happened. But that was another one that was a lot of fun to work with.
Hmm. Do you see Tim Curry in the makeup with Pennywise?
Yeah, yeah. Scary.
Yeah.
I don't like clowns. I don't like clowns.
Oh. Well,
Anyway,
Gary, I want to thank you for coming on the show. I had a great time speaking with you about your work, your filmography, your upcoming work, and just your journey throughout this whole industry. It was really a pleasure. Thank you to Madeline for getting this set up as well, and thank you for
yeah, you're
everything.
welcome. It's my pleasure entirely. I love it. It's just great fun, and continue on doing your great show.
Oh,
So,
thank you, Gary. That means a lot. You're always welcome back on. Once you really start get back and going here with the
yeah,
voiceover and the upcoming projects, we'd love to have you back on.
sounds terrific. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gary. Take care and congratulations on recovering from cancer. I'm happy to hear that.
Thank you.
Thank you,
See you
Gary.
later.
Take care. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Bye, all. Bye.
Bye, everyone.